Hello everyone. Today we'll talk about data privacy fundamentals. So what leaves your machine whenever you use GitHub Copilot? So it is often into argument that whenever we use any AI pair programming tools, so there's a concern of data privacy. So whatever code we generate or whatever suggestions we use to generate our code, is our code also sent to GitHub Copilot? So this is often considered as a point of discussion, and today we'll talk more about it. So GitHub has multiple variety of versions that you can use. So there's something called as GitHub free version in case you are using a free account, open source account. And then we have GitHub Copilot Business, and then we have GitHub Copilot Enterprise. So in case of GitHub Copilot free version, open source version, so GitHub uses your code to train its data. Whereas in case we are using any GitHub Copilot Business or above, so certainly some data leaves our machine temporarily and it is only sent to generate suggestions. It is not stored in long term in most of the IDs and use cases. And when we use GitHub Copilot Business, it ensures that they don't use our AI or our piece of code to train the models. So GitHub gives a guarantee that in case you are using GitHub Copilot Business account, it will not be used to train any models. So now we'll talk about what actually leaves our machine. So in case we have any code around our cursor, so that goes to GitHub Copilot for generating suggestions. Any related context, for example, file names, part of current file, open tabs, these all goes as an information with our prompt. Any interaction metadata. So now GitHub also tracks a record of acceptance and rejection matrices, and based on that, it can further provide you suggestions. So this interaction metadata, which is very limited, for example, how many lines of code we have accepted or rejected, so that matrices are used to send to GitHub Copilot. So whenever we use GitHub Copilot Business, some data leaves our machine. Yes, it temporarily leaves our machine. It is stored for long term. No, GitHub doesn't use stores our data in a long term. It discards after suggestions are generated. And one more question people often have, that is it used for training our data? So no. In case we use GitHub Copilot Business, it is not used to train our data. In case we use any lower models, it is up to the configuration that we selected, developer selects. It can use to train the model, or it can you can choose to not to train the model. So in case of any data integrity, we can see that this data is seen by cloud services during processing. So our data is sent to the GitHub cloud services. Now, what happens to that data? Whatever is sent outside from our organization or our ID, our for Copilot business, there's no training of it data. There's a key guarantee given by GitHub or Microsoft, and they don't store our data for long-term usage. So the code snippets that are coming to us for as auto suggestions are processed in real time, and this data that is sent to GitHub Copilot is discarded immediately after the suggestion is returned. They don't keep it stored for a very long time. Now there are discussions around what is being stored. So in case we use GitHub Copilot chat, which I'll show in some time, or any CLI, these prompt responses may be stored up to 28 days for session continuity. So now there are two ways of using GitHub Copilot. One is with your ID and then other with your browser. So for example, you can also use GitHub Copilot using your browser. So there are sessions where you can generate these sessions. So these sessions can be stored up to 28 days. So now, as I've given a session, so this session will be stored for 28 days. This for session continuity. In case I come back again, that data will be available. That's all for this video. Thank you, everyone.